I load the jelly on one piece of bread and peanut butter on the other, and I put them together and bag it and give it to someone with love.
Day 21 of the national emergency. Are you still out there? I miss you. You know who I miss today? Cheerleaders. The kind with pom-poms and the kind without. You know, the people who say, go, yes, you can do it. The people who cheer on your best selves. They spur you on, and then they go make a pyramid. I'm lucky because I'm on bivouac with my greatest ally, my strongest support, my heart's BFF. But every single one of these guests tonight is changing the game because of the support that they give. Our first guest, Lea, I just met her today. Her video is one of the greatest examples of two people giving each other that kind of support that I've seen in a long time.
I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. My ears are wide open. My eyes are now open to see what I may be. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. In this moment of Spirit, speak through me. I can hear the voices of all my kind. I'm listening, singing. I am listening. The sweet spirit howling into the wind. My ears are wide open. Oh, the joy. My eyes are wide open. Oh, the love to see what here for you and me. Oh, I'm listening in this moment of silence. I am listening. I hear Spirit speak through me. Did you sleep well? Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a favor? Can you go and push with Jake for 5 minutes while I finish? You see I'm doing some worky stuff.
For 5 seconds?
5 minutes. You'll see how long. It's not very long.
How many seconds is 5 minutes?
Well, it's 300 seconds, but you don't have to count to 300. I'll just be in there to get you when I'm all done, okay?
So who's gonna have to count to 300?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Wow. That
thank
was
you,
really
Scott.
beautiful. Thank you.
I
So tell us, where in the world are you?
I am currently in Alexandria, Virginia, United States, Earth, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Milky Way.
yeah, absolutely. And that video was beautiful. That song was gorgeous. what inspired you to make the video?
Well, I would say a couple of things. When I got the first cancellation of a performance, I really realized that something was going on and that I would need to listen to the moment and figure out where I would be led next, how to respond to this current moment, because none of us have ever been in any situation quite like this. It was really, and the first day I took a walk after that, and I just heard this melody, and I had GarageBand on my phone, so I just started, I recorded it, and I recorded some layers over it, and I felt inspired to turn it into a like kind of collage thing and share it, because it was therapeutic for me. It felt meaningful for me. And so I've been doing that practically every day, just listening for melodies and for guidance and for wisdom, how to be at my best in a, challenging situation. So that's really where that was an answer. I'm okay.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And how long have you been singing?
Since I was 3. I remember, I have an actual recollection of being in church at 3, singing gospel with my mom. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I'm considerably older than 3 now, Scott, so it's been some time.
Yeah. Just a little bit, though. Just a little bit.
Some time has
really
passed.
Much.
Right?
Yeah, not really much. Not much. So, all right, we're going to post a link to the YouTube page and everything so people can visit and check out more. And then hopefully you'll come back and sing with us live again.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing some time with us in that beautiful video.
Thank you. It's good to meet you, Scott. Take care.
Thank you, Lea. Okay. Our next guest is Dina Shadwell. We're going to take a look at a project that she's been working on now for some time called Swampy Meadows.
That's your Uncle Francis.
Ooh, what did we get?
This was your uncle's camp. Now it's yours.
They couldn't think of a better name than Swampy Meadows.
Well, I'm an excellent lip reader, and it looks like they decided to try to reopen the camp. It's a very heartwarming moment.
That property they're sitting on is a gold mine, and I will get it from them.
I keep the public safe.
I'm very woke, as the kids say.
I come from a very long line of male chauvinists. Very lonely male chauvinists.
Oh, I do a lot of things quickly, but hugging it out ain't one of them. Get in here.
These are crazy times we're living in.
That's the magic of Swampy Meadows.
What do I believe in? The power of laughter. Ha.
Oh my gosh, Swampy Meadows coming soon. Actually, Swampy Meadows is here, and one of the people who made the whole thing come together is Dina Shadwell. She's been a best friend and a solid rock to many, many people over time, and she's been a director at Atlanta's Habima Theater and is now the Communications and Development Coordinator at Fraser Center in Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Dina Shadwell. Bravo. Dina and I, wow, we first worked together freshman year.
Of college, yes.
Yeah, Storybook Theater.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My first professional gig.
Oh wow! See, I don't remember the character's name, but my barrel, like that was my.
Yeah. All I remember is I was cocky locky with a John Wayne accent, and we got paid $10 a pop. $10
Wow.
a
Wow, $10 a pop. Yeah, so actually my acting pay has gone down since then, actually. I gotta get a better agent.
It's the glamour.
It is, I do.
It really is about the glamour. So.
Speaking about the glamour, Swampy Meadows, unbelievable. I'm 2
Glamour.
episodes in, so no spoilers.
All right, you got to finish it. Promise
Yeah.
me you'll finish it.
I will, I promise, this weekend. So how did it come about?
Okay, so here in Atlanta, we have the Marcus Jewish Community Center. And at the JCC, the Arts and Culture Department and the Special Needs Department joined forces to create Habima Theater, which is a theater company for adult actors with developmental disabilities, produced and directed by Atlanta theater professionals. So every year, full-scale musical, Habima Theater, fabulous program. And I was blessed to work with Habima for many years. And then, can you see this lighting back there? That's baseball. That's like rerun baseball that my husband is trying to watch in silence. So please forgive that.
Frank!
Frank is in the house.
Frank!
Oh my God, washing dishes. Anyway, so the JCC about 4 years ago received a generous gift for the Special Needs Department to create a 3-year program. And they asked me to come on board. We knew it was going to be an acting program, and we already had the theater thing going on with Habima. So with Atlanta being the film hub that it has become, we said, let's make this an on-camera acting intensive. And that's what it was. A smaller group of actors. Most of them came out of Habima Theater. And we worked together closely, I and other teachers and creatives, and we collaborated for our first project with Dad's Garage, a wonderful improv company here in Atlanta, and co-produced with them a short film called That Was Awesome. And then the next project we wanted to do became Swampy Meadows.
So, and what were some goals that you set out for? Because obviously you had some ideas in mind before you even started this. What were your goals?
Yeah. So first off, we just wanted to create more opportunities for these actors with disabilities, because you just don't see a lot. I mean, you're starting to see it, and there was a show many years ago that featured an actor with Down syndrome, so it's been very tiny snippets here and there of representation. And you know what, Scott? Hashtag representation matters.
Yes.
Hashtag see it to be it, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to create more opportunities for actors with disabilities, and we knew with Swamp Meadows, we wanted to do something funny because these actors are funny, and we wanted it to not be about disabilities.
Right.
Oh.
And what was the result? Like, because it had an immediate, it is hilarious. I'm not going to give anything away. I'm just going to say crispy pickle. That's all I'm going to say, and put that into the future for this show. But so what was the immediate result?
Well, God, we got such great feedback from everybody who saw it. And we did a screening at the JCC and invited some industry professionals to come. And am thrilled to say that 2 of the actors ended up getting representation from one of Atlanta's oldest and greatest talent agencies. So that was definitely something we dreamed of, and I'm thrilled to say that it happened, and they've been auditioning.
That's fantastic. So, all right, audience, that's your homework for the weekend. Go check out Swampy Meadows, and here's another thing, Dina. I was definitely slow to embrace totally the whole social media thing, and so I'm getting used to now the share button, and so I'm encouraging everyone. Watch Swampy Meadows and share it. Like it and share it. I'm learning these things are very important. Sharing is caring. So
that's right. And watch it, and creatives out there, start creating content for actors with disabilities. Get to know people with disabilities. Everybody.
Copy that. Yeah. All right. So that's 2 bits of homework for the weekend. And Dina, we're definitely going to check in with you again, and definitely crispy pickle. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
Love
I love you.
Scotty.
You're fabulous.
You.
Thank you. Thank you, Dina.
Bye.
Be safe. Frank. Love you, Frank. Give Frank a hug. Tell him I know who wins. Atlanta loses. All right. Talk to you. Bye.
So you start with your 2 loaves of bread.
I used to be more peanut butter, probably 60-40. Now I'm 40-60.
I don't like the jelly to soak the bread.
Personally, I'm just a jelly man. Well, I just discovered that I'm not the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich maker, but I think what I'm really good at is bagging it.
I load the jelly on one piece of bread and peanut butter on the other, and I put them together and bag it and give it to someone with love.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen, Erin Dinan. She is the creator of One Sandwich at a Time. And there she is. She appears to be in a cloud. Erin, you appear to be floating in a cloud.
Yes, I am speaking to you, Scott, from my cloud.
From the cloud. Oh, so you actually went there. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So Erin Dinan in the cloud, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful. We're lucky to have her.
You should see my makeshift stand for my phone right now. I'm trying to be creative.
Yeah, definitely take a picture. I know where everyone's like taping things, stacking things. Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard to remind everyone to keep their phones, 16 by 9.
Yes,
so Erin and I met several years ago now. I was producing a Beyonce video at the United Nations, and Erin was being interviewed by
Anderson
Cooper, right? CNN. And he was talking about the local volunteer effort in New York City. And Erin had started One Sandwich at a Time several years before that. So Erin, just first of all, tell us, what's the origin story of One Sandwich at a Time?
Yeah, it's amazing, Scott, how quickly time goes. I think when that interview was, when we met, it was 2012, which is crazy to think about.
Wow.
But we started, my dear friend George and I founded One Sandwich at a Time back in 2011. It has a very grassroots story. It was a personal project of mine. So due to a family illness, my mother was battling breast cancer, and I had said a prayer and asking sort of for some guidance and some meaning into life. And I shortly after that was racing to catch a train in Grand Central Station. I purchased a sandwich with me. It was the last train of the night, like the 1:04 a.m. train, so I needed to catch it. And I met a man who was hungry, and my sandwich was split in two, so we sort of shared my sandwich at that moment. So I shared a sandwich with him. I was working as a photographer at the time, and that moment was so powerful for me. I realized that I at least have the ability to help someone make it to his or her next meal. So I started packing sandwiches with me each day to give to people that I passed on the streets, with a goal to sort of hear their stories and express their stories through photography, to address the misconceptions around homelessness and hunger in our city and in the nation, really. And shortly after, friends supported it, community. We started hosting sandwich making events, And we then became one sandwich at a time, a 501c3 nonprofit. So thanks to George who thought of the name,
Yeah,
one sandwich at a time.
Yeah, it's a brilliant
I was like,
name.
that's cheesy. It is, yeah.
No, it's brilliant. I mean, because it says it all, and it really cuts right to the heart of the matter. And so,
exactly,
you know, because I know you started it before 2012, and so here we were, like at the end of 2019, before all of this new now started. Where were you? What were you thinking? What was going on?
Yeah, so from 2011 up until recently, we have grown in this beautiful, organic, grassroots way, where you just know that this, for me, I say this was the answer to a lot of prayers, people just believing in what we do. So we basically have 3 different types of sandwich making events. So we partner with schools, other nonprofit, religious organizations, companies for team building events, and then our own community once a month for our public sandwich making events. And we literally get together and we organize these opportunities for volunteers to come together to make sandwiches in a given amount of time, typically PB&Js, and there's reasoning for that. They're the most requested sandwich from those that we feed. And then we deliver the sandwiches to shelters, food pantries, soup kitchens. So we're sort of the in-between guys that get to facilitate the volunteer event and then deliver the meals and the sandwiches to these large organizations that provide meals to hundreds or thousands per day. So we form these amazing relationships in New York that I'm grateful for.
And what's happening right now under these conditions?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Scott. You know, it's been tough, which I'm sure it has for everyone. So our sandwich making events that have been on the calendar from now until, for the next 2 or 3 months, they've all been canceled with schools and companies for obvious reasons. So what we have found is we can't really gather together. We can't gather our volunteers together for obvious reasons. So we're trying to be creative with the way that we prepare our food, and we're sort of taking on making sandwiches as like an individual project. And the food pantries, the soup kitchens, the shelters that we work with, there's a few of them that have reached out to us in need of sandwiches and in need of meals, because what these organizations are finding is they can no longer provide their daily sit-down meal, sit-down lunch, sit-down dinner for their social distancing reasons also. So a lot of these, it's very fascinating, a lot of these organizations are now providing grab-and-go lunches, grab-and-go dinners, and this is new for them. So we are we've kind of created a call to action for our community, asking people, hey, how can you help us from your homes? Can you help us secure bread donations? Can you help us secure peanut butter jelly? And we will take control for our group here. We'll find the way to make the sandwiches and get them to those in need. And, Scott, the need is it's increasing. We were out on Tuesday, and the group we were working with, the Urban Outreach of New York, they're amazing. Within 3 days, they had provided close to 10,000 meals.
Wow.
And they said, we've never seen anything like it. So hunger is sort of taking on a wider scope in a way.
Yeah. Okay. So we will definitely connect. It'll be in the credits, in the Facebook posts, and in the YouTube posts. So we can all stay in touch. And as you get more ideas of how our community can help, definitely bring us along for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We appreciate any help. We're all in this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we need each other.
Yeah, I'm going to roll this clip from the World Food Day 2015. I just wanted everyone to know this was shot in 2015, so it was, there's a lot of people in a small or big room actually at the Hyatt.
Yes.
So we'll roll that, and then, thank you very much, Erin, for spending some time with us. And,
thank you, Scott.
Yeah, we'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Today is October 16th World Food Day. We are at the Hyatt Grand Century, and we are going to feed over 10,000 individuals in need in the New York City metro area today.
When you think 10,001 sandwiches, that is a lot of sandwiches. So we have people from one sandwich at a time. Myself and my two daughters came from Orlando, Florida, from One Heart for Women and Children, and then we've got the Hyatt.
So my name is Francisco Lewis. I'm the Assistant Human Resources Director at the Grand Hyatt, New York. We're creating 10,001 peanut butter jelly sandwiches for people that are in shelters and homeless on the streets of New York City. So it's a great opportunity for us to give back as a hotel.
My name is Kevin Levine, the Sustainability Manager here at Grand Hyatt, New York. So 10,000 is the easy part, that last one is the hard part. In terms of loaves of bread, we have over 650 loaves of bread, which some of that has been donated to us. We have about 160 jars of peanut butter and about 130 jars of jelly. We'll have 9 different Hyatts represented throughout the day here. We've already got people here from housekeeping. We've got engineers here. We'll have banquets attendants here. We'll have our stewards here. We will have front desk agents. We will have our PBX operators here. Almost every department in the hotel has been involved in one way or another with this.
Here we go, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us right now Christopher Adams, one of the original drama dogs from University of Georgia.
Oh my
Go
goodness.
Dogs!
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the original.
It's been a minute.
It has been about a minute. Just a minute, though. Not a lot of minutes. So, Chris, what's going on? You're a teacher. You're thrown into this world of technology with the kids. Do you feel like you're connecting with the kids through this technology?
It's rough. Because not only is there all the uncertainty of the time, but there are students that, they need a lot of support, when you're in the classroom with them, just to understand how to do things. I think I was sharing with you earlier that my plan right now had been to do something that I loved, is to bring the kids into my love of Shakespeare in the play Julius Caesar. That was my first experience with Shakespeare, and I had a teacher that really loved it, really made those characters open up, and just the life and the lifestyles during the Elizabethan era just made it so fun to explore, and to get into. And I was really looking forward to opening up that play in class with my students, especially as a former actor, to be able to bring that another layer, not just a teacher that knows how to, teach a play, but when you've actually, I auditioned with pieces from Julius Caesar, I've been in a production. My first, I don't know if you saw that show. Did you see that show? It was when I first got to New York, and I think you had just gotten there too. It's called Julius Caesar in Africa.
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
I performed it in a loincloth.
Yeah, that's that image will never leave me, and beautiful it was. I think loincloth is really your thing.
It made sense at the time.
You look good in loin is really the.
And it was a big hit. It was a big hit at the time. So, but, I wasn't going to bring the loincloth back in the classroom. I would leave that to the past.
Sure.
But I wanted to give them, get the words in their mouth, really make them live those parts and really get into it. Well, you can't really do a play reading like that using this kind of technology. So I'm thinking of ways, how can I get them to enjoy this experience? Discussion boards, asking me questions through text, so I'm really having to retool a lot of things, and kids that I know might need support, I'm figuring out how do I give that layer of support. Right, so it's challenging.
Right.
We're all growing though.
Yeah, no, and this moment right now is an example of that. Using our tools that we have so we can stay safe and still, find some ways to prosper, find some ways to support, nurture, and grow, which you've always been someone who is wonderful, you've always been a person. I think everyone in our friend group, everyone in our community at UGA, like definitely look to you as you know, a nurturer for sure.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
good.
100%.
Well,
and
I mean, I think, you know, something that I didn't recognize until I started doing it. My mom was one of the first people to tell me, is like that I think I was just a born teacher. So there's a part of me, even when I was much younger, high school and college age, when if I have a competency, if I know something, I want to share it. I want to give it to someone else. So that's always been a part of who I am. So like I still remember when I did my first Ren Fair, and I couldn't wait to go back to UGA. And I remember just, I mean, I don't know how, I must have sounded like a cult member when I grabbed you and other people in the hallway there in the drama building. It's like, you have to do this thing.
Yes, and I did. I signed up. If Chris Adams says, because you did that poetry thing too, which we'll talk about that, you know, that whole experience. But I know you have a poem tonight.
Yeah. So one thing that I like to do with my students, in addition to just opening up, you know, plays and theater for them, I love what poetry can do. And I think I approach it very differently than a lot of teachers. A lot of them get into the breaking it down line by line, what every image means to them. But if you talk to any poet, they would never want you to do that. They really want you to open up kind of a heart space to consider something from that kind of heart chakra, and not just from this kind of mental space of like, well, this line means this, and this is the technique they use, right? They don't talk like that. I know people that are published poets, some of them very highly acclaimed. They don't want you to go into the experience like that. They want you to open up this part of you to feel what's going on. Because when you get into the language of imagery and images, you can sometimes connect to a deeper experience than you can with just trying to be rational with your words. And that's what I want kids to get comfortable doing with their own writing, but also to see how famous writers have done that. They can go deep, deep, deep. And another thing I shared with you earlier was that, you know, when I had a couple of losses within my family and I was asked to speak at their funerals, my sister, which is this is just her 5-year anniversary just yesterday, actually, of her passing, and one of my closest aunts who helped to raise me. And I went immediately to poetry and started looking through my volumes of poetry. What do the famous writers say about love? What do they say about loss? I didn't use their words. I didn't even quote from them, but they just gave me an entryway to go into that heart space to then be able to share what my truth was about what I was feeling in those moments. And, you know, people in my family, you should have that published. What? He's like, it's just a little eulogy I wrote last night. You know, and they're like, no, it's good. It was really good. But I think it's because it just came from a different depth because I let the poetry work on me, if that makes sense.
Right. And I think that's important in this moment right now. We're in a place that we've never been before. Our older forms of communication are not, they're failing us. And we have to open our hearts and we have to open our minds and we have to connect in different ways. So lay this poem on us.
Okay, so this is something that's very old, very ancient. I like when I'm working with students to, you know, not only share with them classic poetry, but also things that are modern too. But this one is very, very ancient, but it's been used in a modern sense. If you know that song by the Byrds, you know, do everything, turn, turn, turn. Well, that actually comes, if you don't know already, from Ecclesiastes, from actually a chapter of the Bible. So this is Ecclesiastes 3. I'm going to try to put on my best James Earl Jones to share it with you guys tonight. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get up, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to rend, and a time to sow, A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love, a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. So that's just a poem that came to me as I was looking through different things that I might want to share tonight. That one just immediately popped out as something that really speaks to this moment to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Several things just, come up in the mind and the heart as you're reading that. Not the least of which is, the longing now for the time of peace,
Yes.
Because just feeling it every morning, waking up, we're not in that time of peace right now.
We're not, but also that idea that there is a time when we have to cast things away and a time when we have to refrain from embracing. To think of something that's this ancient, that tells it, that's what we're being told to do. Like when we see our friends, don't shake their hands.
Right.
There's a funeral in my family tomorrow, and my mom was just telling me, I've told your dad he cannot shake anyone's hand. There are no hugs. There's no embracing. Well, what's the most natural thing to do is at a funeral to shake someone's hand and embrace? But so you're made to go against what is nature, what is your instinct, in this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for that guidance and helping us through another, moment in this time as we're learning to define where it is we are.
Well, you're very welcome. It's great to see you. It's great to see how you're, letting, like Shakespeare, they said, to use that moment of the plague to inspire him to write one of his greatest works, that you're using as a way to inspire us to come out of our shells and to let our creative selves, throw ourselves onto the internet. Let it go where it goes, land where it needs to land.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It feels much needed right now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And we'll be in touch soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Be well. Bye-bye. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's our Acoustic Friday. So we have a little bit of housekeeping. Next week, we're going to be streaming on the Facebook page of RFINYC. We've got all kind of links. One of the things you could do right now to stay connected is to go to Facebook RFINYC right now and click the like button, like the page, and then you'll get automatic notification when we go live. And then, people have been sharing, so please share. Hit that share button, let your friends know, let your groups know, tell everybody what we're doing here. People have been doing it, and I think that's a great success. S-U-C-C-E-S-S, that's the way we spell success, success. Success. Here we go now. S-U-C-C-E-S-S, that's the way we spell success, success. Success. I don't know how this ends. S-U-C-C-E-S-S, that's the way we spell success, success. Success. I should have practiced. S-U-C-C-E-S-S, that's the way we spell success, success. Hunker, hug, haven. Be safe this weekend.